What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Scares, where today we're taking a look at the brand new film Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This came out to theaters a few months ago, but it recently came out to digital. This one has been on my radar for a little bit because I was interested to see how they translated this book series into a single film, and it's actually pretty interested on what they did. Let's get into it. So this film centers around a group of kids experiencing a number of strange and terrifying experiences after running into a haunted house which had a self-writing book of horror stories, which one of them took out of the house. Stupid. The book becomes an item that they cannot destroy or get rid of, and every time it begins to write a new story, one of the kids in the group is immediately attacked by an unexplainable force. They must figure out how to deal with this story before it deals with them first. You know what the most interesting thing about this movie is? How it's put together. It feels like an anthology film dressed up in a standard narrative. The kids act as the glue or the common denominator that holds the stories together. I kept thinking this film would have worked a little bit better as a TV series given the fact that it's based off of a book series, but it would lose a portion of its originality if it did that. We already have horror anthology TV shows out there. Right now, there's Creepshow over on Shudder, and most people are aware of Tales from the Crypt, which isn't on TV anymore, but it was on for a long time. To release this film as a TV series would have blended right into those shows, and it wouldn't stand out on its own as well as I believe this film did. So one of the main things I wanted to know about this movie was, is it effectively spooky? Honestly, in a very strange way, I have to say it is. And I think a big reason for that is creative, practical effects and costume designs. These creatures in this film look amazing. Now, I'll be the first to say I didn't read the book series, so maybe they're based off of some art in those books, but whatever the case, the people putting together the looks of these monstrosities for this movie did such a beautiful job, and these things are the things of nightmares. And the way that they are introduced in this film, mixed in with how the film was shot, which by the way is amazing, really did make the scary stories in the film feel incredibly creepy in a highly memorable way. However, the problem with a movie that kind of feels like an anthology is there's this overall sensation that it's not gonna end. Sure, the kids are trying to find a stop to this weirdness, and the timer this film is depending on is simply the number of kids at the forefront, very much like how Final Destination or Saw movie would do their thing. You know, and then there was none concept. It's not exactly new, it's situational. What I mean by that is the kids have the general idea of what they want in the end, but none of them have a single idea on how to do it. Personally, I predicted on how it would end near the beginning of the film, so it's kind of predictable, but the journey to get to that eventual end is honestly a lot of fun. That being said, just because the movie is fun doesn't exactly mean it's perfect. There are definitely some issues surrounding my people category in my grading sheet, because one of the main issues, I couldn't really differentiate between these characters from one another. They all played a nearly identical role in the outcome of the film, so they never really had independent importance. I thought they all did a pretty good job in the acting department, but never once did I really feel like they were born for the role, which kind of goes hand in hand with the chemistry. Once again, that was fine, but I didn't really feel a great sense of that chemistry. It didn't feel like they loved working with each other and hung out behind the scenes. In all honesty, it kind of felt as if they were almost based off of the group of kids in Stranger Things, who, by the way, I do feel a lot of chemistry with while watching. It's a mixture of a lot of different things, but these aren't strong characters at the end of the day, and no matter how cool the monsters and the ghosts look in this film, and no matter how well the film is shot and edited together from a cinematic level, none of that changes the fact that the heroes in the film are slightly forgettable, and that does hurt it in the long term. That being said, the movie does make me want to go back and take a look at this book series, because the one thing I kept noticing people talking about with this film is how it compares to those stories, and how those stories gave them nightmares as children. I wonder if I'm a little bit too old for those stories to affect me, because I'm a little bit of a hard egg to crack when it comes down to frights. Anyways, I gave this movie 72%, 72 out of 100 possible stars. I believe the good definitely outweighs any bad the film has by a clear mile, because those practical effects and costume work mixed in with a really solid grasp on how to make camera work and editing creepy made the film stand out. Guys, what did you think about Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Let me know in the comments down below if this film kept you up at night. Also, as for YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because if you like this video and you would like to see more, I'm coming out with more every day, so subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button if that always helps out my channel, and it does! And don't forget about that legendary bell icon, because that helps notify you when I come out with my next review. But until then,